Hey guys, welcome back. It's Tyler McKinney back here again today. And today we're going to go ahead and we're going to get back into some XFL football. Yes, that's right. If it's your first time here, glad to have you. Hopefully you enjoy the video and you check out some more of my other content. If you're a return viewer, thank you for coming back. And don't forget, if you like the video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I need all the help I can get. And thank you guys to you who have already subscribed. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much. All right, let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into the content. So today I want to look at the salaries of the XFL players. If you've been paying attention to the news, you can see that in the news, Oliver Luck has been kind of come out and saying that the average player is going to make about $55,000 a year playing in the XFL, and that's actually pretty decent money when you look at it. Now, you probably are saying to me, Tyler, wait a second, what's going on? I thought we had all these different tiers. What's this $55,000? All right, so let's go ahead and let's kind of break this thing down and let's kind of like look at some of this, because when you actually look at the whole situation with all of it, I think that you're going to come out with a better idea of things, all right? So if you remember, they came out and they said that they're going to have 4 different tiers of player salaries. Now, the first tier salaries, those guys are going to be making about $25,000 to $60,000 a game, which is going to be about $250,000 to $600,000 a season. Second tier guys are going to be making $150,000 to $175,000 for the season. Now, granted, remember, we're talking about working for somewhere around 7 months worth of work, okay? And then the third tier guys are going to be making about $60,000 to $100,000, and then the fourth tier guys will be making about $50,000 to $60,000. Now, you're looking at me and you're like, Tyler, Oliver Luck said that they're going to be that majority of the players, the average salary is going to be $55,000 a year. How do you get there? Well, let's go ahead and let's look at it. Let's just say that there's going to be roughly somewhere around about 600 players that are actually going to be in the league and going to be paid by the league, and that's going to include all 8 teams and then that 9th team of practice players. Okay, so let's go. So if you go that route, so you're going to have pretty much tier 1 is going to be about 1% of the players, which would probably be those 8 quarterbacks that they're going to have on the teams, right? Those tier 1 quarterbacks, those that are going to be automatically given to the teams that aren't going to be drafted, those guys are going to be making the tier 1 salaries. So you're going to have them making those salaries. The second tier are going to be kind of your bigger name guys, your guys that are coming into the league that were probably ex-NFL players, guys who had some playing time in the NFL, and they're kind of needing them to bolster up this league. Those are going to be, probably talented skill players, and that may be defensive linemen, things of that nature. And so, you've got those guys, and those guys are going to be, somewhere around make up the 5 with the tier 1 guys, make up about 5%. Okay, looking at about 5% of the the total pool of players. Then you're going to get into the third tier players, and that's probably going to add about another, I'm probably thinking probably somewhere around 15 to maybe 20% is kind of, again, I have no clue with how many players in each tier they're going to be. But just by crunching the numbers, doing about 15 to 20% in this next tier average a game, which is going to be in the third tier, $60,000 to $100,000 a year. And then everyone else, so pretty much probably you're looking at it, probably 75% of the league is going to be making $50,000 to $60,000 a year. So when you average everything all out, it's going to be about an average of $55,000 a year. That's how you get to that number. So when we're talking about these things and when we're looking at it, that's going to be the average salary. That's not going to be the salary for everybody, and that's not going to be the salary for their highly touted guys, the guys that they really want in the league to make a big splash in the league. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is that you've been seeing out there that they've, the league minimum in the NFL is $400,000 a year. Okay, let's address that issue. There's a big disparity between the league minimum and what they're going to be making in the XFL. Now, let's go ahead and if the guys are in the NFL, they're going to be playing in the NFL. They're going to be on the NFL rosters. They're going to be making that. Now, remember, the NFL isn't necessarily guaranteed money. that 400 and some odd $1,000 is going to be a salary cap hit. But that doesn't mean that if these players get released, what their actual guaranteed money is going to be in that scenario. So you have that factor. The second factor that you have is that does not include practice squad salaries. And let's just go ahead and let's look at practice salaries. So practice squad salaries, those guys are making probably somewhere along the lines of usually it's somewhere around $100 to about $115,000 a year, and so if you're taking that over a 16-game season, you're looking at roughly somewhere around $10,000 a game-ish. Okay, so if we did that and looked at that, those guys. Remember, we're trying to compare apples and apples. Remember, they're only doing 10 to possibly 12 games. All right? So if we're looking at that and what these practice squad guys are making, comparatively speaking, they're making third to second tier money. Whereas the first tier guys, are going to be making a little bit more than that, and they're probably going to be competing with what the league minimum would be, and they're probably making about double what a practice squad player would make. Now, granted, the practice squad player only gets paid, if they work that week, right? So they're not getting paid the whole time. So if they get cut off the practice squad, that's it. They're done. They don't have the stuff that the guys who are actually in the league have and things of that nature, built into the contracts and stuff of that. So when I'm looking at it, when you're looking at comparing these things with the practice squad, the guys who are lower are making probably somewhere on average about $40,000 less than what the guys who are on practice squads. But the reality of it is the guys who are on practice squads are the guys that are going to be in Tier 1 and Tier 2 and possibly down in Tier 3. The guys that are going to make up a majority of the league are guys who are not in the NFL and are really trying to break themselves into the league. So when you look at that, and we look at these rosters and look at that, you got to keep that stuff in mind. You got to compare apples with apples and not just this blanket statement of, well, this is what the league minimum is. We're trying to figure out where the guys are and comparatively speaking, how much they're making. The salaries are very, very comparable if you look at them from that aspect and actually look at dollars and cents and comparing them apples and apples and how much time they're actually spending with the team as opposed to what they're making over the course of a game and things of that nature. So anyways, those are my thoughts. The question is, what are your thoughts? What do you think on the situation? What do you think? Do you think that salary is way too low? Do you think it's way too high? I don't know. That's the beauty of it. We get to have a discussion. We get to talk back and forth. I don't know. I'd love to hear from you down in the comments. I'd love to have that conversation with you. All right. Well, I know that you're busy and I know that I'm busy. So let's get on out of here. You have a good day. Bye.